welcome to another episode of the Closers Club. Today I am joined by real estate developer Gerald Flynn. We're up here in Hampton, New Hampshire in one of his newly developed single-family homes. And I definitely just want to thank you, Jerry, for taking us on this journey and sharing your story today.
Well, thank you, and more importantly, thank Gerald Flynn for doing what they do best, and that's helping out guys like me.
Our pleasure, man. Absolutely. Good stuff, Jerry. So let's just jump into it, man. How'd you get started in the real estate? Where'd you grow up? Kind of what you do before, and tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I'm a little kid, little Massachusetts. Always summered up here with my family. My grandfather and my grandmother had a place up here. And Hampton's kind of been my second home. And as my dad used to say, get an education, you always be a pick and shovel man. So unfortunately, I did get an education, I got a master's, but I'm still a pick and shovel man. And worked for my dad since the early 70s. He was a mason. We did a lot of stuff like that. And at the end of the day, I just started doing small jobs, and small jobs turned into bigger jobs, and lately all we've been doing now is new homes and brand new construction. So again, this is a labor of love up here. This is actually one of the older homes in Hampton. It was built in 1888, and it's quite a project. It was taking us about 7 or 8 months to do this, and like I said, it's a labor of love, but I think it's absolutely turned out to bring the old with the new.
Absolutely, no, you did a phenomenal job of that, as you'll see in the video when you guys are watching. We're going to give you a full tour of the space. So Jerry, what were you doing before you got into real estate? Tell us kind of how you got your first deal, and how that looked like.
It's kind of tragic. I was married in September of, actually I just celebrated my 40th wedding anniversary last weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Same girl too.
Yeah.
And we got married in September. We had a tragic fire, wood stove fire in our house, and had to move in with my grandmother, God bless her soul. And while we lived there, we had a baptism under fire. We had to do our own work, and knew enough to get by. And those parts that I didn't, I hired people that were qualified, and moved back into the house probably 7 or 8 months later. But it was a lot of heartache and a lot of pain, but it really came out nice.
Nice. So that was your first real estate project that you did?
That was the very first one we did. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was 23 years old.
I love it.
And from there we got into some other groups of bought a two-family. Ironically, it was a fire job, and we made it into a two-family. It was a single-family home, and I owned that for over 30 years. And then I just sold that a couple of years ago, actually. But basically, when I came to New Hampshire, I kind of get away from the things that we did in Mass for a lot of reasons. It's a lot easier to deal with people up here who get what we were trying to do, and we've had some success, a lot of success up here. And Hampton's a great place to raise a family. Matter of fact, my son and my daughter bought houses up here. We did some of the work for them. And my other daughter lives in Newburyport, which is right over the bridge, but we did some work for her as well. But they don't pay, so unfortunately there's no money to be made there.
Yeah, man. What do you think, Jerry, gave you the courage on that first project? I know we were young, you just got married.
Yeah.
To take that project on yourself. Was it the experience with your dad, or what do you think it was?
Yeah. A lot of it was. My dad was a very, very smart man. Could do anything, and unfortunately, I didn't have that expertise, or at least I didn't listen to him when I should have been. He wanted my brother and I both to go to the folk school, learn a trade, but we wanted to go to Lowell High, and that's where we ended up. But my dad was a very, very bright guy. Unfortunately, he died about 3 years ago.
Sorry to hear.
And I think he'd be very proud of where I brought this company today.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, Jerry. Are you still doing projects for other developers or other folks, as well as developing your own projects?
Not as much. We have a lot of projects that obviously Robert, yourself being one of my top men that I go to when I need things done, and Crowd Lending being one of those companies that you're affiliated with, so that we've made a conscious effort to try to do our own stuff and really get away from the the decks and the smaller things. But there are old customers that will call me, and if I can, I'll fit them in. If not, I'll get them somebody who, maybe one of my guys who can do that, and we'll do it for a reasonable price.
Excellent, Jerry. Talk a little bit about your team that you've assembled. Your team to acquire projects like this, to get the work done. Obviously, we do the financing, but what does that process look like? Because I know a lot of folks struggle out there with getting in and basically really believing that they can find the right people. You kind of touched on that. You came up to here to find better quality workers, but
and
speak on
the
that.
thing is, you got to go through the process. You got to go through the people that the building department, the conservation. I mean, I've been in front of every board, I think, in Hampton, and there are some people who are very, very qualified to want to keep that atmosphere that is Hampton, and quite frankly, it's been very good. The building inspector is someone that I think is very knowledgeable, and he's a no-nonsense guy, but as long as you're doing things the right way, and in our company we try to make sure that everything is done right. I take a lot of pride in what we do, and more importantly, what the final product is, so that the people who are buying it are happy, and that we're happy as well. So, the thing is with this project, whether it's this project, which is, almost a $2 million project, or another project which is a lot less money that we're doing, probably about a mile from here. We make sure that the same quality goes into this house that went into that house.
Excellent, excellent. Well, sounds good. So, sounds like you're very hands-on with the project. You're the general contractor. You pick the projects. Speak on, Jerry. You had mentioned when we talked before we started shooting here. You said that you did a mobile home flip. Talk a little bit about that process. Like, how did you even realize that was a thing, and when did that happen? That was obviously way before. A lot of folks are doing that now, but you were kind of ahead of your time.
Yeah, Hampton had actually my grandparents had a trailer down there when I was a kid. And later on, my mother and father had a trailer down there, and then I had a trailer down there. So we bought the trailer, my wife and I, and we had 3 kids, and they kind of grew up there. It's about a block from the water, and the people who own it have been, friends of our family for years, generations. And I bought this kind of dilapidated old trailer for $38,000. And we secured the floors, we took out the bathroom, took out the kitchen, remodeled the entire unit, and probably we put an addition on the porch, so it really came out nice. And when the kids got a little older, the house up the street went for sale, and my wife and I loved it, so we bought that, and we still, 2005 we bought that. And moved to the house, which is on the water. And everybody said, "Oh, it must be nice to live on the water." I said, "Yeah, 4 months a year. The rest of the time you're worried about the water coming over." But that trailer, we ended up selling for the first one that ever was sold over there for over $100,000.
Beautiful, man.
From 38, not bad.
Setting records there, and second records in this neighborhood. So this house we're in now.
This neighborhood. This is a great neighborhood.
Yep.
And we obviously this was one lot that was owned by a wonderful family, but tragically the young lady who I knew, her mother had died, and her father died about a year, almost a day later, and she just wanted to sell the house. So I looked at it and we bought it, and we subdivided it. We found out that there was enough land to subdivide it. There was a lot of trees. We tried to keep the border with all those trees, but there was a lot of other trees that were there that we had to take down. And we got a variance for another lot, which is, this lot is a little over a half an acre. The one in the back will be over 1.1 acres. And ironically, you'll see at some point, you'll see the garage outside. That garage was a structure that was so well built, had a second floor, and it also has steel girders on it. And it was over here on the left, which is now the driveway for the second home. And we ended up moving that. And whoever looks at this, we'll give you the video of seeing how they actually jacked that up and moved it around and put it on a foundation that we built. So getting back to what do? I mean, like on our trucks it says from foundation to finish. So we do just about everything.
Excellent, Jerry. Excellent. So the house we're in now will sell for about 1.875, and then we anticipate the back house. What do you think that'll sell for?
Somewhere over 2 million, about 2.25, 2.25, something like that.
Love it, man. It's crazy because I didn't realize the values were so strong up here, Jerry. And when we initially underwrote this deal, you know, we thought you'd sell it at 1.6. You got $275,000 more than that.
Yeah, we turned down 1.6.
Yep.
And ironically, it wasn't ready to be. I don't like to show it until everything's done, but people came in, they loved it. And we ended up working a deal out. They bought it, and we're going to pass this Friday. And so trying to get everything finalized, little things that need to be, you know, the paintings come back and touch up things. So if you do see some stickers on those are my little notes to him saying paint this. But yeah, it's really been a labor of love. I mean, I've been doing this so long in here that I feel like I live here. So,
home away from
unfortunately, I can't afford it. So.
But, I love it. Excellent. How did you find this deal, Jerry? Was it listed on MLS? Did your realtor find it for you?
No, this one, like I said, I knew one of the guys who had worked for me. It was his girlfriend at the time, and nice girl. And again, she tragically lost both her parents in the course of a year. And I think she just wanted to, you know, let go and move on with her life. And you know, it was good for her. It was good for us, and things worked out well.
So that came through your network.
Yeah,
found it through your network. You've been doing it long enough. No, excellent. How about Dearborn? I know there's another deal where it finds. How did you find that one?
Dearborn's an interesting story because we got a call from one of my guys who does my foundation saying, "Hey, there's a house in Hampton for $300,000." I go, "There's no house in Hampton." But yeah, I just went on the market. I go, okay. So I called and my realtor, I says, "Hey, check out this," and she says, "Yeah, it's an open house today." So we went over, and I think at some point I reached out to you and said, "Look, I got another project," and I went in and the place was mobbed with people, and a couple of contractors I knew, and I looked at it and I go, "This is going to go for well over $300,000." So what we said to them was, "Look, we'll give you $335. We don't need to have a inspection. We do everything all brand new anyway." So, and I said the other thing is we can pass in 30 days thanks to the conversation I had with you, and we were able to. They took the deal, and now we're getting through the process of the permitting process. And unfortunately, there was a small little garage in the back that it looks more like a shed than a garage. But it's once we had the plans developed, and once we had some of the other things that we needed to do, we need to take down that garage to make it an addition that we're going to put off. So it's going from a 2-bedroom, 1-bath to 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, including a master and a garage attached. So we should have that permitted in place by the end of the week, beginning of next week, and we'll start construction on that immediately.
Excellent, Jerry. That sounds great. I'm excited to see what that one turns out like.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful house for somebody because there's already interest from people who are interested in it, and I know some of the realtors have reached out to Sandy Valley, who has been doing my stuff with me for 25 years, and you know, she's getting calls, you know, all the time. So they're like, "When are you gonna do something over there?"
Right.
So as soon as I get a permit, we'll be doing something.
Great. So Jerry, from talking to you, seeing the project, and really hearing you speak about your experience, it sounds like the quality of the construction is at the top of your priority list. Yeah. Do you think that's what separates you from a lot of other developers up here?
Well, you know, there are a lot of people who do good work. I just don't know, you know, I don't even mind if we have to take less money on the end of it, as long as I want to be able to ride by here and say, "I built that house," and or "I did this on that house." And there's a lot of people that I get calls all the time from people that just did decks work, and they'll call me up. They just bought a house. They want to know, "Can you do an addition? Can you do this?" And right now, I'm probably 2, maybe 3 years out from doing something. But I think a customer that you know, who's been wonderful to us when we were very small,
right?
You know, we owe them too. So we try to look at it like, hey, I want to give back to them because without them, I wouldn't be doing the projects they have, and certainly wouldn't be doing it without you and Crowley.
No, I love it.
Appreciate that.
Love it, man. No, I mean, it's interesting, Jay, because like I know a lot of developers that I've met over the years, and the ones that stand out the most are the ones like yourself who produce a beautiful quality product like this, and most importantly, like you said, it's a house you want to live in. Yeah. It's a house that you want to drive by and take pride in that, say, we built that. Yeah. And you know for sure, you're not afraid to ask the current owner, like, how's it going in there, right? Like, because some guys, they don't even ever want to see the buyers again, but you know, it's something where you believe in what you're doing.
One of the funny, and I think I always talk about this when people come in, there was a gentleman who came by and he said, I thought he was a real estate agent and Sandy was bringing him over, but it turned out he was a buyer, which I wouldn't have really let him in at the time if it wasn't, if I knew he was. But he said, you know what that means over there? I'm like, oh, here we go, what? And he goes, I'll slide it. And I go, you know what? He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And then somebody else said, there's a bedroom over here, or an office. Could you make that a bedroom? I was, put a closet in there, and there's a bathroom right here. Can you put a shower in there? I go, what a great idea.
Yep,
so we put a shower in there, and then we made this area here, which is a wet bar. Obviously, you go out into
right
out there.
So patio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's getting, you can see the leaves are falling, but we were actually, when we started this, it was winter, and we were heating the place with
the fireplace over here. Yeah, there's a stove in there.
Fireplace, yeah. Yep. And we were burning, wood just to keep the place warm and the guys warm so we could do some of the work. But, yeah.
No, that's great, man. And the other thing I like about what you're doing, Jerry, you're keeping it centralized. And one of the most experienced developers I know in the Boston area, she really dominates in Brookline, Cindy Stumple. I don't know if you know her, but I had a chance to have a call with her, and one of the things she shared was that early on she decided she was going to dominate her area. She was going to laser focus on the area so that, one, she became an expert on that area. Two, she built a reputation that she's the go-to developer for that area. And then three, once people know about you, now they want your houses.
Sure.
And I see you doing the same thing up here.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I coached Little League for 5 years, and for those 5 years we were in the finals 4 times and won 3 times.
Nice.
And one of the kids was a kid named Dave Daly. And Dave Daly is one of the biggest developers on the beach now. I said to him, go back to Lowell where you belong, just leave me alone. So we're
right, your territory, man, yeah.
But David's been a longtime friend, a great guy, and does fantastic work. And the bottom line is, he does quality stuff. And I have to say, I talk to other developers all the time just to pick their brain about different things. And sometimes they'll call me and say, hey, you got a guy who'll do this? So, yeah, here's a guy's name. Mike from NCL. Mike does really quality work. He and I have partnered on some things. He did a real good development up in Dover, which was, Dover is like they used to call it the poor man's Portsmouth. Well, Dover's become an up and coming place too, but too far from me. Mike's been up there and he's doing very well. Summersworth, he's just doing other stuff. So there's other guys out there that do quality work. And you're battling to get the property. I know there's another company does massive work up here. There's Green and Company. They do a nice job. But on the other side is, I'm not doing 15 look-alike homes. I'm doing one home, 2 homes, and then moving on and making sure that quality is seen by everybody, and they go, oh wow, that's FICO did that or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things. I'm glad you brought that up, Jerry, because if you watch YouTube, a lot of other videos on YouTube, folks are like, oh, I did 100 flips this year and I did this amount, but the reality is, when I hear that, I always pause and think, like, how do you do 100 flips and maintain the quality, right? Whether maybe you partner with people, put money on the deal, but at the end of the day, the buck has to stop with somebody. There has to be someone responsible on that job to deliver quality like this. I mean, look at this kitchen. It is amazing. You know, as you walk through the house, you see the bedrooms, the finishes, what you did upstairs in the attic, finishing that space and adding that bathroom, that stuff adds a ton of value. And so, I really appreciate you mentioning that, because I think a lot of folks out there think, especially younger folks, I'm going to do 100 flips a year, but let's start with one, make sure that one goes according to the plan, and then you can figure out a way to scale. But the best builders that I know, they don't do 100. They're doing maybe 4 or 5 a year tops, so that they can give it the time and energy it takes to get the project done the right way.
And the thing is too, is it's hard to find quality guys with good help.
Right.
It really is. And those who you have, and I use the same contractors for everything because they know me, I know them, and I know the quality of work. And if they don't, then they don't get another shot. You get one chance with me. You do it right or don't do it at all.
Right. Excellent, man. So last question relative to this project, and we'll get into something else. What are your favorite features in the house here? You got the fireplace here, the kitchen. I mean, you did a lot of great things here. What's your favorite feature in this particular house? Do you have one?
I have about 3, actually.
All right, what are your top 3?
I always like the fireplace, and it's, as you can see, it's kind of basic, but yet it has the granite that was done by Universal Granite, and I use them for everything. They have the quartz countertops, and obviously there's a beautiful little room, which is different in color than the rest of the house, the hardwood floor, and it's off to the right. That was actually an outside 3-season porch, and it was dilapidated, so we tore that down, and it had a cement slab. We insulated everything and made it, put some beautiful windows in there, made it into its own space, and for somebody who wants to, have a little room to, get away from the family and just have his own time or whatever. It's the perfect spot.
Yep, nice.
But this is really those are my 3, I think. And the other, actually, the master bath too.
Nice.
I really like that as well.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that. Really now, Jay, I want to talk a little bit more about kind of your journey and what you learned along the way. Because at the end of the day, right, we always have a certain perspective when we start a journey. But as we get into it and we look back, there's a lot that we learned and a lot we could have advised ourselves on to maybe make it a little bit easier. So what do you think you tell your younger self before you got into development, that you know now?
I should have done it a lot younger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
There was, instead of doing other things that I didn't like, I should have listened to my dad, and sometimes you're a young guy or a young man, you think you know all the answers, but you don't, and unfortunately, you can't take back what you can't do now. So that's probably the biggest thing. That I wish I was a little younger doing what I'm doing now on a consistent basis. 24, I did my first flip, and we did a few down the road, but I could have. And the thing is too is that the area you build, it's got to be. This is a great area, so I'm not going to worry about selling anything up here.
Great point.
Nothing, quite frankly, only a few months ago, before some interest rates are going up, but most of the people buying now are people who either don't have a house to sell, or they're ready to move down to a smaller house. So it's different. It's different every time you deal with a different client, But I just think that those are the things that we need to look at going forward, is because Hampton is truly a place that they sell. There's no inventory right now.
Right.
Even the guy who came and did the
appraisal there.
The appraisal, he came in and he said, "Hey, there's not a house. I've never seen a house like this." And Sandy was telling, "Oh no, it's very unique," and it is unique. But I guess the ones that they could touch on were in like Northampton, which is very high end, Rye, which is very, very high end, and so this, we're proud of the fact that is, it's different, but yet it's within what we consider a viable area to develop. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Jerry. So last question, how can people connect with you? Obviously you have the construction side, you're not taking on new clients there, but sounds like you're always looking for quality deals in Hampton, Salisbury. What areas, obviously those are your primary areas, correct? And if so, how can people send deals to you? Should they email you? Should they call you? Because a lot of folks watch these videos, so I want to make sure you
we're predominantly in Hampton, although thanks to you and crowd lending, that we are going to go to Salisbury. We got a beautiful beachfront area there, probably about 10 condos right on the water, and that's going to be the last one before we decide to see what we're going to do after that. But
excellent.
That's so those who and either they can call me if they're looking for something, or if they want some advice, and I can help you in any way. But before you call me, call Crowd Lending.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I definitely just want to recognize you, Jerry, for the amazing work you do.
Thank you.
The quality speaks for itself. You're a class act, and I'm really grateful to have you as a borrower, as a developer we work with, and as a friend. And thank you for sharing everything you shared, man.
Thank you.
This was great.
Thank you.
All right, and that's a wrap for today.